Hey, oh, excuse me. I've been a little sick. What is going on, guys? I guess our country, America, has been under attack with snow everywhere. It's been cold as heck. Whew. It's about 6 degrees out here. Maybe, well, yeah. It's what the weather app says. It's freaking cold. Of course, I'm trekking around in a pair of my boots. You see my legs are bare right there, but that's okay. Anyway, this thing I've been dwelling on for like a week now. I had this like thought and epiphany, and I was talking about mental health struggles, things that we struggle with, right? And a lot of these things start in our childhood. Well, what really spurred it even more for me is, you know, as you get older, my 45th birthday is going to be coming up. A good close friend of mine is going to be turning 65, but has some major health issues and may not be around much longer. And then my brother's turning 60. So the age is kicking in, right? But the more I think about these things, man, when I talked to you guys about heart failures before or things that happen, one of the things that I realize is a lot of times I find myself doing things, right, because I just want to be accepted, right? That was one of my childhood issues. I was afraid of abandonment, fear of abandonment, and being good enough, right? Being good enough. And so when we look at that being good enough, and I'm just wondering, it's like in my head, I don't even realize it, but I've been doing it my whole life, right? A lot of people may go through this, but am I good enough? Am I good enough? Did I do something to get enough focus, attention? Did someone see it? Did my dad see it? Well, he's dead and gone. Did my mom see it? Did they? Well, that's a part of the type of childhood I had. And so it made me think all these things, how I battle, right? It's probably one of the best things in my life and one of the worst things because, sorry, it's freaking cold out here. 6 degrees is no joke. Anyway, people make fun of that over in Tennessee. Like, oh, you California folks, you can't handle this stuff. But I grew up in Texas, man. Lived in California. We didn't deal with 6 degrees. But anyway, you know, am I doing good enough? Are people seeing, you know, what I'm doing? The people I love, do people care? And so I find that I spent my entire life trying to outperform, right? Trying to do as much as amazing things as I can, you know, just to see if I could even be good enough. Prime example, if you've been around long enough, I'd made this building, right? So I'd built this barn in here. And the thing about this barn is I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm a sales guy, not a contractor. I'm not an installer, right? But I wanted to feel good. I wanted to create it. I took a week off vacation, and it's like, I did this. I built this damn thing, right? I mean, I built that huge thing all by myself. There wasn't a single soul that helped me build that, right? And I'm like, do people see that? Does anybody really notice that I was capable? I made that happen. So once wasn't enough. So what? I did it again. I built another huge one, right? This was in the last couple years. And was that good enough? Well, it doesn't stop there, right? Like, I'm like, okay, what else can I do? How can I be good enough? And what can I do to make things bigger and better? And maybe then I'll get recognized. Maybe somebody might notice those things, right? And like with work, I try to perform at the top of the level. I kick butt. And when I feel like no one's noticing, what do you think that does to the person mentally, right? I'm not good enough. So you start self-sabotaging. So the latest project that I had uploaded a couple videos, and I'm like, is anybody noticing, right? And there was a couple of people that did, but I've been building the garden, right? And when I say building the garden, I started making those above ground gardening boxes. And on top of that, I figured, well, I built those other 2 buildings, maybe I can build another one. So I built a greenhouse. Never did one of those. A lot of crookedness. I built all the fence around the property, right? I'm not a construction guy, but I did those things. And I look back and I go, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? But the real question is, good enough for who? And I think that's the thing. Who am I good enough for? Am I good enough for myself? Am I good enough for the people that might love me? The people that may not love me? Or am I good enough for him? Yeah, I'm pointing up. Am I, that finger just froze pointing up. Holy smokes. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's, seriously, I just, you know, that dawned on me. Sorry, there's something in my eye. That warmth feels good. That dawned on me as part of like the mental health struggles, right? Am I good enough? Are you good enough? Do you struggle with that? Do you think about that sometimes? Are you just trying to ultimately get the attention, the affection of the person you love? Maybe it be a family member, a mom, dad, your wife, husband, whoever it may be. Do you find yourself doing that? And then when you're not, you don't feel like you're good enough, you start to self-sabotage, you get mad at yourself. You work so hard, you put out your heart and you put out your soul and you put out all your energy. And no one noticed. Or did they? Maybe you didn't notice. Maybe they did notice. You know what I mean? But you can't see it. And I share that because that's obviously what I'm going through. I've been going through that 45 freaking years. Well, maybe not when I was 4 years old, 2 years old, but still, that is part of my life, right? Those are part of my life struggles. And so I just, as I grow and understand and try to ask the Lord, like, what am I missing or what's happening in my life? And then how can I use that? You know what I mean? Because all things can be used for good too, but how do I use that part of me? So just been debating for a week to share that. I know there's people out there make fun of people that talk about their mental health issues. There's a reflection. There's people that insult, but if they want to do that, that's fine. That's on them. That's not me. I just wanted to share something because I know out there in this world it's cold. Baby, it's cold outside, right? It's cold. But no. It's a cold world with cold hearts, cold humans that are hurting. I think everybody's got something going on, something that they struggle with. And I think it's more than just one. It's a couple different things that they struggle with. And it's up here, it's in here. And it all started in my childhood, and I've shared that story before. But anyway, it's freaking cold. I've lasted almost 7 minutes out here walking around in circles in the freezing cold talking to you. I think I've said freezing cold now 26 times. There's a drinking game for you. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day.